Hey, hello, and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review Blondie's 1979 album, Eat to the Beat. It's a little more pop than their previous albums, but it's still really good, so yeah. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist, 9 out of 12, 75%. This album's pretty good. Most of the songs are good, and the album flows pretty well. It slowly kind of gets more innovative and interesting as it goes along. Dreaming is the most sort of pop, a little bit disco-like song, and then as you go further in the album, you get much more new wavy, especially with the title track. There's a good variety of speeds on the album. Some of their best slower work that I've heard so far is here. They've really managed to get some really slow songs really good on this album. Definitely got some inspiration from disco on this album, much more than their previous albums. This is really a blend of rock, disco, and new wave, and it works pretty well in general. So there's a couple of songs here that sound like ABBA, and I think it works pretty well. Blondie is good at emulating the sound without making it boring. So in general, I would say this is a pretty good album. Side 1, I think, is much better than Side 2, mostly because Side 2 just doesn't have the same speed. Side 1 has some up speed and some down speed. There's only one single released before the album, the opening track, Dreaming, which I think was decently popular at the time. None of these were really gigantic hits, but I think there were a few songs that were on the radio at the time. My favorite song here, though, probably got to go with the final track, Living in the Real World. It's got a style beat that's kind of like The Police, and it's definitely more rock-oriented. Although I also really liked the title track, Eat to the Beat. That one's a little bit more new wavy, sort of more interesting, but I think I like Living in the Real World better. I rank this album slightly better than their previous albums. It's kind of a matter of inches, in my opinion. On this album, they get more consistent in their quality, and while there's slightly less innovation and variety, and they're not as distinct, the increased quality of tracks really makes up for it, in my opinion, right? There are some tracks here that sound, like ABBA or like disco, but they're good, so it's pretty good. Of course, this album doesn't take my top spot from 1979. That goes to Pink Floyd's The Wall, which has just got a lot more going for it in terms of both quality, the amount of tracks, the style. It's really more of an artistic piece than Eat to the Beat is. I feel like Blondie has a bunch of really good albums, but they've yet to get a really great album. They've yet to sort of break into that level of quality, and The Wall definitely is in that level of quality. The Wall is definitely great, and I think Eat to the Beat is just really good. Next up is Train's 2001 album, Drops of Jupiter. It's pretty good. It's one of their more well-known albums, and definitely a good one overall. So stay tuned for that, and stay minty.